Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
What's up? Hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and thank you so much for coming back to see about me. I'm always so grateful when you all come in. I love to see you just coming in and when we get a chance to share together. Well, today I want to look at something. I think this conversation will be a great help to many ladies who are really trying to put it together in your own mind relative to what a great man thinks or what a great man is looking for in a great woman. When I first titled this, I called it 5 Secrets About a Great Man He May Never Tell You. Because a great man, I call him a king, is not always going to be as verbose in terms of what he's looking for. He will talk a lot about where he's going, who he is, what he offers. But as it pertains to vetting a particular or potential woman to be his mate or his wife, he will pretty much observe and see if those qualities are there. And so I want to kind of dive into the mindset of a great man, of a king of a man, because a lot of the rhetoric that you hear today it's not the language of kings. If you look in Proverbs chapter 20, verses 6 and 7, it says, "Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him." Now, this text is talking about how common men promote themselves. You know, I'm this, I'm that, I'm rich, I'm high value, I'm the boss, I'm the man. They promote themselves, but a faithful man, an authentic man, a king of a man, a great man is governed by his integrity. In other words, he's governed from within. He's not trying to create a facade, externally that will mislead, misguide, misdirect you. But a great man is governed by his heart's integrity. He measures himself by being on the outside what he really is on the inside. A lot of what you see represented today as manhood is really, it's really low-level men that are painting an image of being high-level guys. And when you can't reconcile the two. You can't reconcile the image from the character. Well, a great man is governed by his character, and his image is simply a reflection of his character. He's governed from within. And then the question is asked, who can find such a man? And I like this because, we're accustomed to reading or reciting the text that says, who can find a virtuous woman? But here it says, who can find a faithful man? Well, I think that's important because it takes a king to find or recognize a virtuous woman, and it takes a queen to recognize a faithful or king of a man. So all of that other stuff can't really measure up because there's not enough depth for a common man to recognize a queen of a woman, or a common woman to recognize a king of a man. So a woman that would attract this kind of man must understand the heart of the man. Because remember, he's governed by his integrity. He's governed by things from within, from his character, from his core, from his most vital dimension. And so a woman that would recognize and attract this kind of man will have to understand something about the man's heart. Now, most women are not accustomed to dealing with kings. Most women are not. The world is filled with clowns. In fact, about it, what I'm seeing today, the world is filled with, and I'll use some of this this urban language that I'm learning. The world is filled with pimps and simps. Now, pimp is nothing new, but simp is something that I just recently came aware of. The world is filled with pimps and simps. What the world is missing is the third category of kings. And see, when you hear people, spout off about their rhetoric relative to what a man is, they're really talking about one of two categories. They're either talking about pimps or they're talking about simps. And you automatically know that here's a person who does not really have a complete perspective, because there's a third and most vital category called kings. This is the classical man who's not a pimp, who's not a simp, but he's a king. Let's break it down. A pimp, and these are my definitions. A pimp is a male who silently struggles with low self-esteem. He's an underachiever, and he silently struggles with low self-esteem, and he subsidizes his low self-esteem by playing psychological games on women to manipulate them. It gives him, the manipulation of women gives him a sick but false sense of manhood. To manage females to his advantage gives him a false but sick sense of manhood. He's a pimp, and he brags about it because this is what he learned from the broken generation of men that came before him. This is what he hears in the barbershops. This is what he learns through certain exploitive media or entertainment, that, to be a man, I need to be able to manage, manipulate, control, emotionally abuse women. Listen to what the Bible says relative to this concept of manhood, this pimp thing. 2 Timothy 3:1-6 says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, no respect for authority, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection." Then it says they're going to be truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with divers lust. These are guys that are self-consumed, that find the most gullible, credulous woman, and they move into her life and they lead her away based on things that she feels she needs or desires. Pimps. Then you have simps. Now, a simp is a feminine man that submits himself to a woman as his leader, as the leader of the house, and he becomes almost like a child. Not a co-equal in the house, but she becomes the boss. He becomes just a third or fourth child. He's the other child in the house. He loses himself. And he even loses his woman's self-respect in the process. He lacks vision or self-respect. Now, a lot of guys feel like, well, I'm just going to let her have her way and do what she wants to do. And I'm just going to say yes, yes, yes to everything. And that's the way to keep my woman happy and to keep her home. That's the fastest way to make her lose respect for you and to drive her away from you. Because though a woman does not want a tyrant that is going to emotionally abuse and subjugate and control and manipulate and manage her, that's not the will of God. It is also not the will of God for you as a man to be a man that allows a woman to just tell you what to do like a child, you jumping and hopping and everything like a little kid, and you think that's going to keep your woman happy. You're losing your woman. And she may have started off thinking that this, is going to be good because he does whatever I tell him to do. But she will eventually come to learn that this is not really what she wants. She does not need a pimp. She does not want a pimp. And she certainly does not need a simp. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 3 through 5 says, talking about the qualifications of a bishop or one that would be a leader in the house of God. Well, the same thing applies to being a leader in your own house or in the family. It says, not given to wine. This man should be not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not a hothead, not covetous, not selfish and self-centered, but one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? If you can't be a leader, if a man can't be a leader in his relationship with his woman, what makes him believe, or what makes you believe that he can be a leader in any other sectors? Well, now let's get to the matter. The third category is the one we want to focus on, the king. Now, a king is a man who knows who he is. He knows where he's going. He knows who he needs, and he feels no need to impress anybody. He knows his role, and he is deep enough to respect his woman's role. A king is a man that does not feel the need to be in control of a woman, managing a woman, manipulating a woman. A king is a man that will never allow a woman to subjugate him and rule over him, lord over him like a child. A king is a man who knows who he is. He knows what power he possesses. He's deep enough and secure enough in himself to look at his own woman and recognize the giftings that are in her and fall back when a situation best suits her. A king is a man that is man enough to say, babe, won't you take the lead on that? I got 1,000,001 balls in the air I'm trying to juggle. Why don't you take the lead on this or take the lead on that? He doesn't have a problem with that. He's not a man that's running around telling his woman, you must submit, you must submit. No. He's a man that honors his woman so well that submission is her natural response. That's a king. So you have pimps, you have simps, but then you have kings. I'm talking about the mindset of a king. I want to help you to look into the mindset of a king, things he may never tell you. Number one, this is only for you women that desire kings. You know, this is only for you. Some of you women, you want a pimp. Sad, but your broken consciousness has you in a position where that's what you're looking for. You're moved by that. Some of you women, you want a simp. You want a little man that's, you know, maybe go and make a paycheck, but he's nothing but a child at the house. I'm talking to women that want a king. And the way he thinks. 5 things that he may never tell you. Number 1, exclusivity is everything. A king wants a woman that will be his exclusively. Now, just clearing up, based on a conversation I had again with Chingy, it's virtue. You know, a king is looking for a virtuous woman. And that does not mean a woman that is virginal or a woman that has never had sex. But what it does speak to is a woman who manages her reputation, her sex life in a fashion that she has the kind of character and qualities that a king knows that if she's in a relationship with me, it's exclusive. I never have to worry about coming home finding somebody jumping out of my window. Exclusivity for a king is everything. So to be too available initially, you know, to be a woman that shoots your shot. I put something on Instagram talking about that, and certain person said, well, shoot your shot, lady, shoot your shot, go get him. I didn't respond to it because I recognized it was the voice of broken consciousness. But to be too available initially decreases interest in a king. A king is not interested in a woman that is running him down, pursuing him like she's the dude. She's the dude. You know why? It says to him that if she's pursuing me like this, she may very well be pursuing 2 or 3 other people like this. A desperate looking woman will never attain the interest of a king, because he will not trust her ability to be exclusive. He will not even trust her desire to be exclusive. And one thing about kings will never share. Kings will never share. King is not going to be in a position where, you know, he's wondering. That's another great quality about a king. You don't have to worry about a king, you know, checking your phone and putting trackers on your car and all of that kind of thing. Because a king is going to live his life the right way with you as a woman. And so he expects that you're going to give him that in return. And he believes that if you don't, it'll be exposed. And when it's exposed, he'll just simply dust his hands of it. He'll move on. He'll dry his tears and he'll move on, because exclusivity is everything to a king, especially when it comes down to his woman. If you look in Proverbs chapter 31, verses 11 and 12, it says, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, talking about that virtuous woman, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. But notice it says, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. A king needs a woman that represents or embodies, should I say, exclusivity, because a king is going to have to trust his woman. He's going to have to trust her with his money. He's going to have to trust her with his name. He's going to have to trust her with his reputation. He's going to have to trust her with his brand. And so when a king begins to make a move towards a woman, he has to feel like this woman has the kind of virtue that I can trust her, and that she will be mine alone. There's a certain way, if you pay attention when you're in social settings, there's a certain way the woman of, or the wife of a king carries herself. She's very polite. She's very polite. When she moves into a social setting, she's not with her nose in the air. She's not walking around like she's better than somebody else. It doesn't matter that she's, Dior, Chanel from head to toe. It doesn't matter. She's very polite. She's very humble. But there's this invisible boundary that makes everybody in the room, especially men, know you go this far and no further. Her man does not have to walk around staring dudes down and all of that. He can go on about his business because his queen knows how to move through the room and yet respect herself and him in a way that she makes everybody know this is exclusive. You don't even have you don't even have a shot over here, because learning to carry yourself in a way that models a woman that knows how to be exclusively the woman of a king of a man is important. And he's looking, and see a king of a man is analyzing and not judging. There's another word I'm looking for, but he's looking at how a woman carries herself, and he's looking for certain tendencies in her. He's looking at how accessible she is to certain kinds of people. He's looking at how desperate she is for a relationship. A king is always attracted to a woman who's, number one, happy and fulfilled within herself, but yet has a personality that says, I'm open to the right kind of situation. He's not looking for a desperate woman that just needs a man and just want a relationship, because he concludes in his mind that, if she's desperate for a relationship now, she's probably been desperate and she'll probably be desperate. And so she's not the one I'm looking for. When a woman can carry herself in a way that says, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled within myself, but I'm open. I'm open to the right situation if it suits me. Now, number two, a king represents, or a king values rather, a woman that represents herself well. A king values a woman that represents herself well. This is why I tell you all, and sometimes you get angry with me, and you want to type crazy stuff, and I don't respond to you. I tell you all, when you get on this Instagram and you turn around taking a picture of your behind, putting it on Instagram, you are eliminating, you're eliminating certain kinds of men. You are eliminating the kinds of men that are looking for wives. Now you're attracting the kinds of men that are looking for a bed experience, and men that will keep running you in and out of the bed and creating all of these soul ties and just constantly increasing your body count. A king values a woman that represents herself well. Now, I know you don't have to listen to me. I'm not your daddy. I have grown daughters. They don't always do what I tell them to do. People get grown, they make their own decisions. You know what I'm saying? So I can't control nobody. I'm married to a woman. I can't even control her. Thank God she on Instagram taking no booty shots. But a king is looking for a woman that represents herself well. Her temperament. He ain't looking for no angry woman. He ain't looking for no woman that, gonna take over the situation. Her temperament, a woman with a feminine temperament, brains, ambition, and all of that, but a feminine temperament. her energy, that when you look at her, you experience her, she makes the world brighter, she makes the load lighter, and a woman's presentation, the way you present yourself. Now, a lot of times you all get angry with people that tell you the truth about how you present yourself in public arenas, and you go off on people, you want to cancel everybody, but the reality is you canceling yourself. You out here presenting yourself to the world, unless you have a little simp of a husband that is content with you looking any kind of way on social media or wherever else you go. If you're a woman out here looking for a husband and your presentation of yourself, if you know this is your 100% and you giving this thing 30%, you're doing a disservice to you. You're doing a disservice to you. Why would you leave out of your house misrepresenting yourself? You ought to be at 80% just going to the Walmart, to the grocery store. You don't know who you're going to meet, especially if you're waiting on God to send you a husband. A man is looking for a woman that presents herself a certain way, her temperament, her energy, and her presentation. When a woman presents herself well, it speaks of her self-respect. I ain't doing this for nobody. Babe, I'm not asking you to do this for anybody. I'm asking you to do this for you because you respect yourself that much. I'm sitting here, I comb my little hair, comb my little beard out, put my little shirt on and my little jacket to talk to y'all. Well, I'm a 56-year-old man at the time I'm filming this. Ain't nobody expecting no glamour presentation from no 56-year-old dude. I could have very well got on here with the t-shirt I slept in. And just let me talk about what I want to talk about. Rubbing stuff all out my eyes. But because I have self-respect, I present myself to you in a way, at least in the best way I possibly can. I do the best with what I'm working with, because your presentation speaks of your self-respect. When a king sees the way you represent yourself, he understands that this is a reflection of your self-respect. Proverbs 31:29, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. See, the king is always looking for the woman that has such a high self-esteem and a high self-respect that she goes head and shoulders above the average woman. Not to please somebody, not to please some man that's lording over her and dominating her, but because she has self-respect. It signifies not only the woman's self-respect, but it also signifies a woman that will represent him well. If a woman has the level of self-respect that her presentation is phenomenal, the king says in his mind, well, here's a woman that will more than likely represent me well. You see, this is important because a king of a man, wants a woman that inspires him and represents him better than he represents himself. My wife represents me better than I represent myself. My wife is literally my better half. My wife can move into a room and she doesn't even have to say a word. People love her. People gravitate to her. And people on many occasions have developed a high estimation of me based on the quality of the woman I have in my life that represents me. Listen to what the Bible says here in 1 Corinthians 11, 7 through 9. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God. But the woman is the glory of the man. The woman is the what? Glory of the man. The brightest spot in a man's life is his woman. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. She represents him in a way that he can't even represent himself. Because when a man is married, the world will conclude certain things about that man based on the quality of the woman he has. Guys that are in corporate America, they want a certain kind of woman because she may determine if he gets the promotion, if he gets certain opportunities or not. It's the quality of his woman. Now, when we look at letter C, a man values a woman, this is number 2, that represents herself well, because letter A, it speaks of her self-respect. Letter B, it signifies a woman that may represent him well. But then letter C, it speaks of the quality of children she may produce. See, all of this is going through the mind of a mature man, a great man, a king of a man. He's not just looking at a woman that stimulates him sexually, but he wants to know, does this woman have self-respect? Can this woman represent me properly? And when I join with this woman and we have children together, can this woman produce, since we like to use high value, can this woman produce high value children? And high value children speaks of, can she put the kind of character? Does she, number one, have it in her to instill the kind of character, come on somebody, into my seed? Because while life has him pulled away and working, and maybe even her, he understands that it is the quality of the mother's heart that massages and formulates the internals of the children. The father represents, the disciplinary dynamic. The father lays down the law, but the mother is the one that massages the soul of the children, and the children internally, most of the time, take on the characteristics of the mother. And so he's looking at the way you represent yourself, because he can, when he looks at you, he can see what kind of children you will raise. He sees what kind of children you will produce. And just for clarity, we're not talking about biologically what they're going to look like. We're talking about the character of a mother is transferred to the hearts of the children. And of course, the father as well to a certain extent. But children where they start out in their mother's womb, they hear the first voice they hear is their mother's. They know their mother's, the beat of their mother's heart, the rhythm of their mother's heart. They are rocked in the arms of their mother. They bond with their mother years before they really bond with their fathers. And so when a man looks at a woman and the way she represents herself, he is simultaneously looking to see, now, is this the quality of children I'd like to see in my life? There's nothing more There's nothing more lamenting or lamentable, if that's a word. There's nothing sadder than making babies with the wrong kind of woman. Just like it's horrible for a woman to have children for the wrong kind of man, there's nothing worse than a man being at a certain level and having a certain heart and a certain mind about life and messing around and making babies with a woman that does not represent the qualities he'd like to see in his children. So when a man gets to a certain level, a wise man, he's thinking about all of these things. And when he's looking at how a woman represents herself, if you look in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 20 through 23, It says, my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproofs of instruction are the way of life. The quality of woman that a man pairs with determines what kind of children they produce together. Now, number 3. These are 5 things that are in the back of a man, really at the front of a man's mind, but are not spoken when he's trying to analyze if a woman is the kind of woman that he can make his queen. Number 3, a king waits for a woman that draws the line. He waits for a woman that draws the line. Remember I told you about when a woman is married to a king of a man, they can move in and out of social circles, and she'll be the most polite and humble person in the room, but there's this unspoken, undeniable, invisible boundary that she puts around herself that makes everybody know, don't play with me like that. Don't move beyond this. Well, a king is looking for that kind of woman that draws the line. Not a woman that's desperate, not a woman that doesn't only cross the line, but jumps the fence, swims the river, crawls through the jungle, climbs up the mountain to try to get to a man, but a woman that draws the line and enforces the line. A woman that says, before I disrespect myself and run out here and get all in this masculine energy and run a man down and pursue a man and try to grab a man, I will find my happy place within myself, which is the only place it really resides anyway. I will live my life for purpose and fulfillment, and I'll be a blessing to the world for all of my years before I come down off of my place of virtue. A king is looking for a woman that draws the line. There are not enough women today that are drawing the line. Too many women are let me leave it alone. I don't want to get in trouble. I may get canceled. A man wants a woman that has limits and enforces them in spite of consequences. You see, that's another thing that I love so much. And I mean, y'all, I know y'all probably get tired of hearing me talk about my wife, but it's the only woman I got. And that's my wife, so I got a right to talk about her. That's another thing that I love so much about my wife, man. Not only when I told my wife, I'm confused trying to figure this out, I don't think I want to get married, I think you ought to move on. Not only did she presto magic got out of there, she never called me back. She never tried. Only time I talked to her is if I called for her. She never ran me down. She never popped up in places that I would be a frequent. She drew the line, and I drew the line and she enforced it. But another thing I love about my wife is that she never allowed, nor does she allow me to go to any place that she deems slightly disrespectful. If I'm talking in a way, if I'm using language that she doesn't like, it doesn't matter if we're at dinner. She gonna give me a look that's gonna make me know, wait a minute, you crossing the line. And you know what? As much man as I am, I respect that, and I back from that, and I leave that alone, because, a king respects a queen that draws the line. Even when you look at the nature shows and you see the male, the alpha male lion that runs the pride, and you see the queen, I guess you would call her, the main one. The time she don't like something he doing with the kids or something, and she'll sling that paw, and homeboy back, and he'll go on about his business, and he'll respect that, because kings are drawn to women that draw the line. See, in some cases, you have not drawn the line. You've allowed society and everything else to tell you, well, because you're this age, or because you weigh this much, or because you're this weight, or because you don't make this amount of money, or because you're not a part of this sorority, or you're not. And so now you've just constantly, your self-esteem is constantly sank, and now you out here just, you like that person that says, that woman that keeps saying, if you do it again, well, what are you doing? You constantly redrawing the line, if you do it again. No. Kings love a woman that draws the line and enforces the line. You're not going to go out and cheat on a queen and keep running back here talking about you made a mistake, you sorry. Now, she may accept your apology the first time, but when you go back and you do this again, I promise you, because queens draw the line, and kings are looking for a woman that draws the line. You know why? Because kings have firm boundaries. See, a king wants from a woman what he's going to give to that woman. That's all he's looking for. He's looking for a woman that is going to reciprocate the honor that he's going to give to her. Proverbs 31:10 says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. What do you think a price is? It's a line. It's a line. That's why when you can go to Chevrolet and you can haggle. Y'all can sit there for 6-7 hours haggling. Go to Ford, you can haggle. You get to Mercedes, it's not gonna really be no haggling. You may have a conversation, but it ain't gonna be no haggling. You either can afford this or you can't. But when you get over there to Bentley and you get over there to Rolls Royce, it ain't no haggling. This is the price. We don't even need to have no conversation. This is the price. A price is a line. It's a boundary. This is as low as I'm going. And I'm not going any lower. Now, you either come up to meet my standard or move on to Ford. Move on to Chevy. Maybe you're not supposed to be on this Bentley lot. And that's what a king is looking for. He's looking for a woman that draws the line. And see, this is important on a lot of different levels. Because the quality of a man's woman can rescue that man from calamity. Because it doesn't matter how great of a man you are, there can be seasons in your life where maybe things are not going well and your head is all over the place. You have to know you have a woman at home that has drawn a line and has created certain standards. And there are days that you're going to have to be able to look at your woman and just watching her and the standards that she has established and won't back down off of will restore your sense of perspective relative to who you are and what you're fighting for. Now, number 4, a king needs a woman. Listen to this very carefully. High value seems to be the buzzword all around the world today. But a king needs a woman to create a high value partnership with. I don't hear a lot about high value partnerships. I think the equivalent to the concept in terms of how I'm seeing it would probably be the power couple. And some say, well, and I guess everybody has their own way of thinking about things. Some say, well, a high value man wants a woman that's just going to stay cute and have babies and be nice. And I suppose some men do want that. But there are days that you have kings who have what? Kingdoms. And a kingdom is beyond the grasp of any individual. So a king needs a woman that has the intellectual capacity, and that does not necessarily speak of educational accomplishments, but the intellectual capacity, the temperament, the visionary capacity to be able to join with him, that they can create a high value partnership. He's not even opposed to her having already begun the process of building her own kingdom out. And then there's the merger of two kingdoms. And so a real man is not looking to lord over his woman, nor is he looking to take advantage of her accomplishments. He's not looking to slide in and just use her. A real man, a king of a man, is looking for a woman he can build with. Now watch this. This is where questions, remember in Queenology, I wrote in the book Queenology, queens ask questions that only kings can answer. When a woman begins to ask questions, pimps and simps get nervous. And they probably get gone. They don't want to entertain questions. Kings love questions, because as the queen or the potential queen is asking king questions, he is also gleaning from the depth and the quality of her questions, her level of consciousness. I'm preaching better than y'all shouting. And it attracts him to her when she's asking him questions, because he's looking for a woman that he can create a high value partnership with. Let's do this thing together, yin and yang. Right? When Sheba she heard about King Solomon. She heard about how rich he was, how wise he was, and she said, well, I'm going to go check this out. And she went down there to check it out, and the Bible says she went to prove him with hard questions. And when homeboy got through answering her questions, the Bible says she had no more spirit within her. Some say, well, that means she fainted. The dude had it going on so well. Well, kings entertain and kings appreciate questions, and kings can answer questions, and they love questions because it signifies that I have the potential here for one that can create a high value partnership. Proverbs 31:10 through 12 says, an excellent woman, this is the Amplified Version, it says an excellent woman, one who is spiritual, capable, intelligent, and virtuous. Who is he who can find her? Her value is more precious than jewels, and her worth is far above rubies or pearls. The heart of her husband trusts in her with secure confidence, and he will have no lack of gain. High value partnership. She comforts, encourages, and does him only good and not evil all the days of her life. This woman had all of these different things going on, businesses and what have you, and she still had a great man that sat in the gates, meaning he was in the place of government and counsel. And yet he had a powerful woman, and together they created a high value partnership. Kings are looking for not dependents, but independent women that can run their own kingdoms. You know, a king views a queen as himself in a dress. Proverbs 18:22 says, he who finds a what? A true and faithful wife finds a good thing and obtains favor and approval from the Lord. A man is looking for a woman that can help his life to multiply. Now, you know, your accomplishments, your educational accomplishments, you know, you're buying your own house and all of that kind of thing, that will scare off little pimps and simps. It will. But your accomplishments are not going to do anything but arouse the curiosity of a king. Now, you're not going to have dudes hollering at you every day, because kings ain't out in the street all day long hollering at women. You got to just keep doing your thing and being patient and, you know, ask God to create the moment and the time where the right quality of man will see you. You got to also make certain, I don't know why I'm going off on this, that you keep your life available and stop filling your life in your bed with all of these clowns and crowns. Make certain that you're legitimately available. God is not going to create a connection between you and the kind of man he has for you as long as you got the kind of man that you're settling for in your life. It ain't going to happen. Listen to what 1 Peter 3:7 says. And this again is coming off of point number 4. A king needs a woman to create a high value partnership with. 1 Peter 3:7 says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. Watch this. And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. It's a what? High value partnership. He honors the wife. The wife submits to him, and together they create something together that they could have never been separately. And then number 5. Here's something that you need to know, and I'm done, about a king of a man, a great man. If you respect him, you can have anything. If you respect him, you can have anything. Now, this will require that a lot of ladies, that you do the healing that you need to do. Because a lot of you are great women, but you're still dealing with the impact of the pain from your previous experience. And so you wear it on your face, and that's fine. I feel you. We've all, well, a lot of us, most of us have been there where something traumatized us and it showed up on our face. You wear it in your energy. It comes out in your tone, comes out in the way you deal with people. And in a lot of cases, you're disrespecting respectable people based on something a clown or a clown in a crown did to you previously. You're allowing the pain of your past to poison your present opportunities. If you respect a king, you can have anything. You see, women need to be, again, I got this from Chingy. I want y'all to understand that. I'm not a woman. So when I listen to a woman who has this insight, I glean and I learn and I absorb it since I talk to women so much. But I learned this from Chingy. Women need to be cherished. And I mean, I knew it in other terms. Women need to be cherished, while men need to be respected. If a man cherishes a woman, he can have anything. A lot of husbands trying to figure out why is it that my wife doesn't want to, make love to me? You haven't cherished her in a while. You can't run up in your marital bed like you pay for a prostitute or something. It doesn't work like that, not with a wife. If you haven't cherished her, if you haven't honored her, her body ain't gonna work for you. Now she may try to do her just a marital duties and all of that, but you're not gonna get what you're not gonna get what you know she got until you what? Cherish her. Woman needs to be cherished. A man needs to be respected. And of course, you can flip-flop that, but at top of the heap, man cherishes a woman. If he cherishes a woman, he's going to what? Automatically respect and honor. If a woman respects a man, she's going to automatically what? Cherish him as well. But those are the two pinnacles. Respect the man, cherish the woman. When a woman learns to respect a man, glory to God. I feel like preaching here. Listen to what Ephesians 5:22-27 says. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. Now, all of those verses I read, you know what these verses say? Wives, respect your husbands. Husbands, cherish your wives. If you want a king to cherish you, respect him. If you want a queen to respect you, or cherish you. If you want a queen to respect you, cherish her. If you want a king to cherish you, respect him. And so a man is looking for a woman that is respectful. A man is looking for a woman that is respectful. Now let me just give you some things that come off as disrespectful, and we don't mean it. And I'm not talking down to you, because these are things that I even have to work on. You know, coming from a family of leaders and take charge people like the Blake's house, my brother, my father, even my mother, you know, you almost have to kind of like, you know, fight to make your point, because everybody's kind of like, you know, you say, what restaurant are we going to? You get 4 different answers at one time. So with that being my, you know, upbringing, there are times that I kind of learn to interject myself while another person is talking, and then I learned that that's disrespectful. And so now when I do it, I pull back and I apologize. I'm sorry. Please continue. You know, but I had to learn that. Never meant to be disrespectful. Well, a lot of ladies do that. You know, brother, you and the guy talking, you know, and having a great conversation, and he's making a point, and then you cut him off and you make your point. As a lady, you pull back and you let that man finish his statement, and then you make your point. And then watch this. Let me just help you in terms of drawing that line. If he tries to cut you off unintentionally, politely say, wait a minute, let me finish my. See, a king loves that. Oh, I apologize, dear. I apologize. Didn't mean any harm. And then you learn. See, you learn the yin yang dance. So if you respect him, you can have anything. A woman that respects him can have anything. There's nothing that I have that Lisa cannot have. Lisa respects me to the highest. To the highest. She handles all of my money. I don't go around trying to see and check, see what's going on, what they got. No. Lisa want to spend it, she can spend it, because she respects me and I cherish her. There's nothing she wouldn't give me, nothing she wouldn't do for me, nothing I wouldn't give her, nothing I wouldn't do for her. But you got to learn that. So those are 5 things that a king may never say to you. I know this was a long one, but I wanted to take my time for those of you that really want to dig in. Some people just want sound bites. You want to dig in and know what's in my head. That's why I take my time and do it like this. Now listen, don't forget to go by my website and sign up for my mailing list and check out all of the online programs. Pick up a couple of them. And of course, you know, those of you that may need counseling, there's a link in the description for BetterHelp Counseling. If you use that link, they'll give you 10% off, and in return, they will make a deposit for the referral into R.C. Blake's ministries. Now, let me pray for you before I let you go today. Father, I thank you for just the wisdom. You said in your word, God, that you've given us all things that pertain unto life and godliness. I thank you, dear God, that the word of God is a document for successful living even here on earth. And now, God, my prayer is that you will cause this wisdom to plant itself into the hearts and minds of everyone that's listening. In Jesus' name, bring healing, bring wholeness, bring clarity, bring change. In Jesus' name. Well, I'm R.C. Blakes, and you know, you're on top and going higher. I don't care what it looks like. You're on top and going higher. So guess what? Lisa and I thank all of you as well that have sown into our lives. We love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. But Lisa and I want you to know we will see you at the top. God bless you. I love you. Until next time.
We here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. R.C. and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by R.C. Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by R.C. You may find all books written by R.C. and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.